Welcome to
Wednesday with the Mavens.
Wednesday, wacky.
No, it just doesn't flow quite like Monday with the Mavens.
We are talking today about how the basics can still be sexy. Because, hi.
Because we are bringing sexy back to the basics, you guys.
We're bringing sexy back.
What?
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na.
Okay. We don't have a lot of time. We gotta get this going, get the show on the road. But you guys, there is something to be said about the basics. It's the foundation, right? And why can't that be more exciting? And why can't it be a little bit sexy?
It's honestly what is going to be sustainable, and it is going to get you lasting results. It just is. And think about this, like good sleep, going to bed at a reasonable hour is sexy. Like good balanced hormones and like good skin, good hair, good mood, like it's sexy. Like
in my eye.
Being hydrated and having dewy skin and being energetic and cognitively clear, it's sexy.
It is, yeah.
Being like fueling your body and your brain so that you have like the energy and the performance to do the things that like you really want to do. You can go out and do whatever you want, whenever you want without having to think about it. It's sexy.
It is. And so you guys, that's what we're talking about today. I feel like we're sitting really low over here.
Yeah, maybe I'll try to lower us a little bit.
Or maybe I'll just prop myself up on my leg. Okay. So you guys, it's super sexy if you have a goal and you actively working towards that goal. So what are your goals? For one, it's the beginning of the new year. A lot of people have New Year's resolutions. A lot of people set goals. But it's really important if you have a plan to get to your goal. We talk about it all the time, right? If you fail to plan, then plan to fail. Yeah. So what is your plan? How are you going to get to your goals? That alone, you guys, is pretty sexy. If you know somebody who has a big audacious goal and they're working towards it and they're doing things every day to take one step closer to get to that goal, I don't know.
I think it's sexy.
It's kind of hot.
A BHAG, big, hairy, audacious goal.
Yeah.
That'd be sexy. Okay.
That'd be sexy.
But here's the thing, you guys. So all these things that we're talking about, like increased energy, improved sleep, improved hormones, better cognitive function, better body composition, like feeling good in your own skin, having confidence, all of that. Like, how do you achieve that? It's the basics.
Yeah.
Yes, you can overcomplicate things. Like there are all these things out there right now. One of the things that we're probably going to do a more detailed post on this week is even like the huge fad right now with the peptides, with Ozempic, semaglutide, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, like there are a lot of things that you can do that will give you a quick result, but is that a sustainable result and is it a healthy result? Right. And if you're going to choose to do those things, have a plan to make it sustainable. And so it really comes down to like, number one is nutrition. Like what you fuel your body with is going to be the foundation and the cornerstone of everything else. It just is. All of those things that we talked about. And why reinvent the wheel? Like, why not figure out what you need so that you can appropriately fuel your body to do the best that it can? Like, understand what your body, what your lifestyle, what your bio individuality needs in terms of nutrition. And that is what we do. And along the way, we're going to work with you on lifestyle shifts that allow you to reach your goals in a way that is super sustainable and probably going to rub off on your family. We're going to work with you on deep and restorative sleep. We're going to work with you on hydration. We're going to work with you on reducing inflammation. We're going to work with you on your nervous system, on becoming more stress resilient. All of those things lend to a healthier, longer life where you can be vibrant and feel good and reach your goals and not have to live in a deficit forever.
Yeah. And you guys, one of the things too that I think is really important when we're talking about the basics, sometimes people don't know how to fuel their body or like what foods actually serve them. And that's what we're here for. So, I have a lot of clients who come to me and they think that they're eating clean. I was like this, you guys, where I was like, no, I eat relatively clean. And then when I actually tracked what my food intake really was, I was like, wow, it was much different than what I thought. And so when we sit down and we talk to our clients about how they are eating, making simple shifts along the way, you guys, that is the key. And those little things, you can see it on people's face when people are fueling their bodies appropriately. it reveals itself in your face,
when
in your
people
skin.
are hormonally balanced,
It reveals
you can read
itself.
it on
You
their
can see
face.
it, you guys. And so that, I don't know. I think it's really important. And so if you're one of those people who's like, well, I think I eat pretty healthy, or I think this, or, I'm pretty sure that this is how I feel my best. Like, great. If you're curious about feeling even better than you think that you can, that's what we're here for. So
both Haley and I are, we have somewhat similar stories, although they differ in that we were healthy eaters, primarily non-inflammatory, did all the things like Whole30, paleo, keto, all of it, and worked out really hard. And we were pretty healthy.
Yeah. I'd say generally speaking, we were healthy people.
Yeah, we were healthy people and had been exposed to, from a healthcare perspective, all of the things. Yeah. It wasn't until we really understood how to appropriately fuel our body, not even necessarily with what foods, but with the ratios of those foods, and could understand how to preserve muscle and shed fat, that we could become like leaner versions of ourselves that were more energetic and more hormonally balanced and sleeping better and all of the things. And that's honestly why we first started Macro Mavens, is that we understood the principles of health and wellness and the pillars of wellness and what we really wanted to achieve. But we felt like it doesn't have to be too complicated, and we can get people there and we can graduate them and we can have them have sustainable results. And it really comes down to the basics. And so if we can, like right now, the first of the year, you see all these people, they're starting to do these water fasts, or they're doing extreme exercise, or they're signing up for this or that, or they're doing the weight loss injections, or whatever it may be. One, if you try to do too many things at once, the chance of any one of those things being successful goes down. Yeah. And so you have to start somewhere.
And the sustainability of all of that is like really difficult. Also, you guys think about it. If you start tracking your macros and you start a brand new exercise plan that you've never done before, and you're going to run a marathon and you are going to do all of these things, like it's just too much, right? And you hit burnout. And so if you can take one thing and shift one thing, and we believe nutrition is foundational, and it kind of is the building blocks for everything else. If you can take your nutrition, get that under control, figure out what fuels your body, then that becomes a habit, that becomes sustainable, and then you can add on the other things at the appropriate times.
And if you're working with us, you have an accountability buddy in your corner, and we're going to walk you through when we think we can start shifting some of those other things so that they become small habits over time. Yeah. The other thing is that so many people at the beginning of the year want to start these huge exercise regimens. Exercise is wonderful. We all need to move our bodies.
We all need to move our bodies.
We do. However, your outcome is going to be like 80% plus nutrition, and the rest is going to be the other stuff. And so if you are killing yourself in the gym and you're not getting the results you want, your nutrition is not where it needs to be. Yeah. You might even be eating like really healthy. Like I just thought my genetics would never allow me to be I worked out hard and I ate pretty clean. And I just thought my genetics would never allow me to have like a 6-pack. Not that everybody should be chasing a 6-pack, because I don't necessarily, we just need to feel good in our own skin. But literally eating more food and shifting what I was eating and just understanding how to fuel myself and actually not even working out as hard, it was achievable. It's wild to me.
It is. It's absolutely wild. And so, we can blame, and I think we do this. Sorry, this is bothering me right here. We can blame a lot of our, what is it, not discomfort, but the things that we're frustrated about our bodies. Everybody has things about their bodies that they're like, I don't know.
I do.
Yeah, totally. We all do. And I think that we can put a lot of that on our genetics. Well, my genetics won't allow me. There's a lot of reasons, a lot of excuses that we make for ourselves when really we just need to put in the work. And oftentimes, I think that this is true too for us. A lot of people maybe in this culture that we think we want something, and then as we get closer to having that thing, we actually are like, maybe that's not exactly what I wanted. Yeah. Like for instance, maybe we all want to be really thin. And then let's say you get really thin and you're like, actually, I think that I would feel better if I was stronger. That was how I felt. I was like, I just want to be thin. And then I was thin for a while and I was like, I just really want to be strong and I want to be able to perform at my best, and which is not my thinnest. It's not my leanest. And so carrying a few extra pounds, but having more muscle and feeling like I can perform better in my own life, whether it's at the gym or, whatever I'm doing, skiing, hiking, all of the adventuring that I do, I would way rather perform at a higher level with a few more pounds, but still feel so much better. Yeah. So you have to weigh it out. And I see that with my clients all the time, actually. They'll come in and they'll have these, goals. They'll say, I want to be this weight or that weight or whatever. And as they get closer and closer to that goal, they're like, actually, that number is less important than how I feel. And I'm actually feeling so good, fueling my body and eating appropriately that number no longer matters. I just want to feel this way. And you guys, that is freedom.
It's freedom.
It is so freeing to feel that way.
What's so cool is like most people come to us with an aesthetic outcome in mind, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
Like when I first started, like that was my goal, to be honest. But it's what comes along with it that is so freeing and so sexy. Like it really is, because we'll have clients that are like, oh my gosh, like my energy, or like my brain is working, or my mood is improved, or my sleep is improved, or my libido is improved.
Or let me tell you this story. I don't know. I think it was my client. I don't think you told me the story. I think that I had a client who told me that and this might be TMI, but you guys don't care. There's no such thing as TMI with us. But she, like, for the first time in like 20 years of her marriage, she was comfortable having her clothes off with the lights on. And that is, you guys, that is a big deal.
It's a big deal. And there is no shame, you guys.
No.
Like, whatever it may be. But like the basics are what stick. And I think if we can start in one place and like really nail it down, that genetics load the gun, but lifestyle pulls the trigger. And it's a little morbid, but it's so true, because we all have
kind
things,
of morbid, actually.
we all have things that work against us, but we have the opportunity primarily through food to change that. Yeah. Food is so powerful, you guys. Food is medicine or food is poison. And yes, so many people are like, oh, don't
demonize
say like
food,
good food, bad food. There is food that serves us and there is food that isn't. Do I choose to eat some foods that don't serve me? Absolutely. I can fit them in. But if I just know like how to fuel my body and feel my best, it's amazing. It's amazing what happens clinically. We see it day in and day out when our patients are sharing their lab results with us and their providers are like, oh my gosh, like how in the world has their HSCRP, which measures inflammation, gone down that much? How have they literally shifted into like somebody that would maybe be clinically diabetic into like their numbers aren't necessarily showing that anymore? Like with heart, looking at blood pressure, looking at hormones, like being able to effectively elicit change to a thyroid. Like it's so cool.
It's super sexy.
And so we said we were going to keep this short, and we're going to.
Yeah.
The thing is, you got to start somewhere.
Absolutely.
There are especially this time of year, there are so many ads out there. There are so many things trying to get your attention. It truly is. If you want sustainable results, it might be a little bit more of a marathon, not a sprint, but you can get there. Like find somebody, and even if we're not the coaches for you, like find somebody that where you don't have to reinvent the wheel, and they can partner with you and help you get there in a sustainable way.
And
hopefully
teach you
with
why.
education along the way.
I was going to say, find somebody who can teach you why things are happening the way they are. Because if they're just telling you to do something, but there's no rhyme or reason behind it, then you won't learn. Like, we really want our clients to understand why their bodies are responding the way that they are, why we are, suggesting maybe an anti-inflammatory protocol for some people. We want our clients to know the reasons behind our actions. We're not just throwing a blanket statement out there saying you need to eat more protein. Some people don't need to eat more protein. And so really find somebody, you guys, that you connect with, that works with you, that you can communicate well with, that understands how to get you to your goals and can teach you why something works or why something might not be working for you.
Because we want to bring sexy back.
What?
Aw, you missed your cue.
Well, anyway, you know what, you guys, there will be other days for us to sit on here and sing songs to you.
Absolutely. So if you have questions, we always offer a free consult. We're also getting a ton of questions about Ozempic, semaglutide, all because it's all the rage right now. And, we have opinions. I do think there's a time and a place for it, but I do think that you need to use it responsibly, and you need to preserve muscle if you're using it, because there's a whole other conversation, but that's
maybe
coming.
Maybe next week we'll jump on a live about that. But you guys, we are not opposed to using the tools and the things that are available to us in the right time and place. And I think that's the thing, is like there is a right time and a right place and a right amount for certain things. And so
but what we want is sustainable results. So if you're choosing to use something like that, understand and make sure you have a plan for when you go off of it, because oftentimes the outcomes, not only will you gain back everything you lost, but you will have lost muscle. And so if you can preserve,
which actually sets you backwards, you guys. You don't want to be farther behind when you don't want to be farther behind from when you started.
And the thing is that if you can, the two things I want to leave you with specifically on that subject is if you can preserve muscle while you're taking it, when you're going to be in a significantly reduced calorie count, when you're using something like semaglutide, or there's several different names for it. So preserving muscle and having a plan to appropriately increase your calorie count so that you're not famished when you go off of it, so that you can sustain your results. And we do have coaches that can work with you on that. Yep. So anyways, all of that is to say, keep it simple.
Keep it sexy. We didn't even plan that, you guys. Yeah, the basics are sexy. Set a goal, have a plan to reach your goal, and then get after it, you guys. Like, man, people who get after life,
they're sexy.
They're sexy, yeah.
You can go to macromavens.life, click the hop on board button. A free consult awaits you. We'll answer any questions. You can DM us. You can message us. You can ask us anything you want.
Yeah. We're open books, sort of, mostly. Ciao.